Hey everybody, welcome to a impromptu talk show.
Yay!
So,
You ever want to watch a game without a DM?
we're here to guess what Sully had planned for
We're
us.
just gonna run an episode and just make everything else up ourselves.
And it is canon.
It will be canon. It
She
will
has to
be
deal
canon.
with whatever we do today when she gets back next week.
Jumbles gets a new, bigger gun.
Jumbles has a bigger gun and begins puberty. It's gonna be a real whole thing.
The story that nobody wanted to tell.
His legs
And
get
nobody
even
wants
longer.
to watch.
And now it's Sully's turn. Sully is unfortunately feeling very sick. I was on the phone with her earlier, and she said that she started getting real dizzy while driving home. So, not good.
Yeah, not wonderful, unfortunately.
So-
Bull fever or whatever.
Yeah, she has the plague.
Too much fish.
But so today, what we're gonna do is like a half retrospection on where we've been in Malevolence, and half I have a couple topics on my phone, and we'll bring those up whenever we feel the need.
Is this actually an intervention?
Whenever his attention
Is this what
span
this
starts
is?
to falter, he'll just swap to something else.
I'd be like,
The true Gen Z mindset.
if I can't scroll away immediately, I have an issue.
We're going to discuss tabletop theory while talking about our characters and playing Subway Surfers. So let's go.
I do hope you enjoy
Minecraft
ourselves.
parkour.
Oh my god.
So, let's start with this Malevolence.
Malevolence.
Now it's official.
Roll the intro.
So, how are we feeling about it in general? And get candid, get real, get honest.
I am loving it. With the events of the previous episode, I'm trying to figure out Cass's headspace and stuff, and it's such a challenging module, and I'm having so much fun. I was rewatching the last episode, and I love Ezra so much. Like the way that Sully plays her, how she dropped the stick and then went to the side and went ta-da! And, it's so cute. So yeah, I love it.
Well, it's funny because you're playing a teenage character. We have a teenage character and a kid character, and nobody actually likes playing teenage characters and kid characters because you're not quite mentally developed yet. You're still on the learning curve.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of times when you're playing I don't know, a teenager, and you're just gonna have a mood swing or go sulk because it's just that kind of day. And nobody actually wants to play that, but I think both of you have done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Because nobody
you.
really
Thank
wants to do that.
It's absolutely hilarious having a literal child at the party, just like an 8-year-old frog boy.
It's
with
definitely
with a gun for some reason.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
that's illegal.
obviously the reason is you two.
well, canonically, his grandpa gave me the gun.
Hello.
Great parenting.
Almost literally every single problem that the Numina family gets into boils down to it's a problem exactly until Amadeus walks in the room and just turns them into die. Yes.
Then Amadeus says, "I'm gonna hit you for 1,000."
I crit. Power attack crit. So that's 18 d10s.
And
Cool.
that's why everybody listens to Amadeus.
Well, it would backhand us and we would die.
He can make a man explode with just a stick. So
Backhand you into another plane.
Remember when I one-shot that
Just slap you
ghost?
to the back rooms. That's Amadeus.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of that was just insane rolls, and apparently Pathfinder 2e fighters are just...
They're so good.
I've said this.
Insane.
I will say it as many times as it wants to come up in my life. Fighter is the strongest class in Pathfinder 2e. I 100%. Nothing has shaken me from that yet. The fighter is just so ridiculously strong, and you don't even have, because we're 4. You don't even have most of the completely insane fighter feats. They have so many absolutely ridiculously powerful feats as they get higher up. You get I don't know if you've looked at higher level fighters at all. Have you seen some of the things you can get, your capstones?
I'm what does a level 10 what could a level 10 Amadeus
level
look like?
20 Amadeus, there's I'm pretty sure it's a capstone that you get your reaction back at every initiative step.
Whoa.
So like,
So like
every,
it would be my
every
turn.
time a turn ticks, you get your reaction back.
Dude, that's so many.
That's
so
amazing.
that's so many. He moved.
You can
So what you're
literally
saying
AOO
is-
everybody.
that would be the end of Sully.
Pretty early on, you just get a second reaction that
Oh,
can only
sick.
be AOO, so you can just whap whap 2 people in one go.
That's just
You-
a second turn.
It's literally a second turn. You're doing more damage when it's not your turn than anybody else does on their turn.
So
Like,
you can power attack as a reaction then?
well, you can't put them together, so it's
Sad.
still attack
I'm sorry,
opportunity.
man.
It's just a strike. But you get 2. You don't get multiple attack penalty when it's not your turn. So it's not like you get a second. It's not -5 on the second one. They're both at full power.
So I'll
like,
get my plus 13 plus
Uh-huh.
whatever. Yeah, that's wow. Okay, cool.
Well, the average percentage, like, chance to hit for fighter is so much higher than almost any other class. So, like, just even if the numbers aren't huge, which they normally are huge anyways, just the amount of times you're going to land a hit is so high.
It's the perfect demonstration of how big a +1 bonus is in Pathfinder, because you know what makes Amadeus different than literally all of the rest of us? 1 tier of proficiency. He has +2 to hit, higher than everybody else. That's it. That's how much difference like +2 is making. It's incredibly huge. It's very large. Also, he has a geese arm. So, it's pretty hard
Which
to
are
tell.
also very good. They are, in
love
fact,
that-
Nick's favorite weapon.
We were playing Munchkins a while back, and I love that in that game, one of the weapons that you can have is a goose arm. It's so funny. Oh man! And I think Gary was the one to. No, I drew it, and then I was like, "Hey Gary, you want this?" So yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Ah,
That's like Munchkin's entire thing, is that like everything is like a ridiculous reference to
Yeah,
something.
it's a little parody.
tabletop-y
I've only
and
played
fantasy.
one game of Munchkin, and I tied for first place because it was. If you've never played Munchkin, I'm sorry. If you,
If you've never played Munchkin, you're living a privilleged life.
I've never played mine.
That's good.
Oh,
I legitimately think you would hate it.
oh, maybe.
It's everything about like Pathfinder that you hate. It is a game like the whole point is the min max. It's called Munchkin because
Yeah.
the point is to min max as hard as physically possible with everything that you have.
Gotcha. Okay.
But, like it's
so the
a
point of
card
it,
game,
it's
though.
also like it is a card game, and it is it's also a dungeon crawl. So you're trying to go from like the first room of the dungeon to the 10th, and whoever gets to the 10th wins. So I was tied at 9th with like 4 different people, and I had an ability that if somebody moved up a floor, I also moved up a floor. So we were both tied at 9, and I was just like, "Hey, if you win, I'll help you, give you everything, and I'll win too." And she was like, "There's no reason to say no." So we just shook hands and won. That's and I have not played
I
again
literally can't lose.
since. So this is
I made
great.
room 9. I have already won. No, it doesn't matter what you guys do.
So Gary and we were in a game that lasted.
Our
Like,
second game of Munchkin.
It was like
ever.
5+ hours.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
it
It got to an
Wow.
insane. Okay, so it got to an insane point where, like, for a while, Gary was in the lead. He was like so close to winning, and a bunch of us were kind of stuck in the middle area. But then we all started to catch up, and it got to this ridiculous point where, like, everybody was kind of stockpiling the cards to try and stop everybody else from winning because we
You
all
did
were
crab-
at
you crab
9.
mentality.
Yes.
it was an
That's-
arms race, basically.
It was
And
the
it was
crab
so
bucket.
it was so funny because like Michaela was getting ready to win, and like David, her husband, was sitting there like and like all of us were scrambling to find things to add on to the enemy so she couldn't beat it. And you get
I'm
it?
Are you
Freaking
pawing like a
blind.
cat? What's happening?
I've tried like 3 times. It loves me, and I want it to go away.
What is it? There's nothing
Fly!
there.
There's a fly!
I didn't see a single thing.
Trying to
But
smack him. It's Florida in the summer. It happens.
but all of us we used a bunch of cards to stop her from being able to beat it that round. And we like she was like, "Oh, but then I could do this," and she was like 1 point away or something, like 1 point over, so she could beat it. And then David's like, "Here's this card. No, you can't." Like we all were like, "You sat on that this whole time." So it was a wild game.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
it is fun. Not to pivot too hard, but I did want to acknowledge the chat for a second because somebody said I literally
They
sent
literally
people.
send people here to see how much a +1 is in
Yes.
Pathfinder versus
a plus,
5e.
because I want to talk about that because when we 3 of the 5 of us here have come from 5e,
Right.
and I remember distinctly hearing somebody go, "Oh yeah, you just get a +1 for your next the next level up, or like an item gives you a +1," and I was like, that sounds bad. I was like, that doesn't sound like you
So
get
it's like-
anything. And now playing it, I understand how valuable those +1s are.
It's crazy because hypothetically, when you're looking at whatever roll you need to make, because this links in with the degrees of success system in Pathfinder, where critting is 10 over and critically failing is 10 under. +1 doesn't just, like, if you hit on an 11, +1 doesn't just make a 10 into an 11. It also makes a 1 into a 2.
Yeah.
Or it can make a 19 into a 20. It shifts all the degrees up 1. It can change 2 or 3 faces. So you get like a 10 or a 15% chance on a roll for a single +1 to matter. And then when you have like 3 +1s, stuff gets real wild. You're
Really
shifting
wild.
entire degrees of success up on the dice. It gets real good.
Yeah.
Or
Because
real bad.
or real bad.
Yeah.
Because for 5e, it's definitely like +1 is nice, but that's like the cherry on top for
Right.
whatever the thing you're getting is.
At
Like,
a +5, you have fully shifted a degree of success because you go up 5 from 10, and if you rolled that, it'd be 5 higher too. So you have gone. It's half of what you would think you would need to move a whole degree of success up on basically whatever you roll. It's crazy huge.
yeah, it's because again, 3 of the 5 of us, this is our first true Pathfinder campaign.
Yeah.
So this is us definitely learning that curve because we did secrets, so we did Starfinder, but like I've said. I like you said with fighters 1,000 times. I've said this 1,000 times about Starfinder. Starfinder is the gateway drug between
is-
5e and Pathfinder 2.
Starfinder is extremely Pathfinder 1.5.
Yeah.
it is a middle bridge between like everything because it's like half Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
It's I really think half of their purpose in making Starfinder was to be a litmus test for a lot of the second edition stuff because they have like half the changes, but you still have like move action and standard actions, and you still have like split armor classes, and you still have a lot of the old like 50 types of bonuses thing going on. But they did half of this. We have 2 armor classes that do something instead of like touch and flat-footed and standard, and you have the stamina, which is in 2e, but ended up being an optional rule. I tried that it's like a halfway point.
Yeah. It's very good. So back to if we can for a minute, Malevolence again.
Yes.
We are a bit on ranters, so
You sure you don't want to talk about Munchkin for 3 hours?
Feel free to wrangle us
Boy,
at
do
any
I.
time.
If you guys talk about Munchkin, then I get to have a podcast where I talk about Magic the Gathering for 3 hours. This is the deal. Okay?
And then I talk about Genshin.
You get Genshin. We all get one. So with Malevolence,
I'm just gonna review escape rooms.
Yes.
We do want to do that.
I
That
would love to
so
do that,
good.
man. I think escape rooms are like my
Anyway,
favorite.
Could you,
No,
could
no,
you-
no,
could
this
you
is fine.
imagine a podcast? I guess that's just like a general podcast, but a podcast where the topic, or at least like it's just complete. Like one is a escape room reviewer podcast, the next
It's
one's
just
all,
all
about Magic
over the place. Yeah,
Gathering.
completely unrelated.
Next one's about
topics.
Genshin. You know.
You don't know fear until you get the second key to open a weird casket in an escape room, and you open it, and there's a calculator in there. And you're like, oh no, we're about to do something horrible.
throwing jumbles at a Phyrexian obliterator is absolutely hilarious, and I'm the only one at this table who understands that
I
good
know
joke.
it's one of those things that probably costs 14 colorless mana and has a
If
flavor
it's
text.
Phyrexian, it's probably
Flavor
green or
text
black
that
mana.
looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but just says you win the game, but with way more words than that for some reason.
I have-
Dude, Exodia.
I played this. I'm going to pivot off Magic after this, I promise. I played a game where I have my friend who refuses to play. There it is. There's the absolute horror that is the Phyrexian Obliterator. That I desperately want that.
And not
Oh my God.
anything like what I was thinking. I thought it was
It's
one of those
like a 30
14 cost things.
It's a very expensive card. But somebody said in the chat, no more
No.
Magic. Absolutely not. I'm into troll now.
That's Colby.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If you spell my name right, then I'll do it. So I convinced my friend to play with us, but he said I'll only play if I can play by my rules, and I was like, yeah, sure, man. So I gave him a whole deck to play, and it was like 5 of us all sitting there playing, and he just kept drawing cards whenever he felt like it. And then at the end of his turn, he'd be like, hang on, I have honor, and he would take 1 health off of himself, and he'd be like, I've got honor in the game, man. He's like, I respect it. And at the end, my friend, he just goes, guys, I hate to break the news to you, but I do win the game. And he lays down his phone and just Googled Osmodius, and he just put it down, and we're like, all right,
My man's playing season 1 Yu-Gi-Oh.
The rules are whatever I say they are at the moment.
Corey, when you and I play, can I play by those rules?
No.
Dang.
Malevolence.
Malevolence.
I feel like Jumbles could take that though.
Jumbles could take.
Jumbles has a gun.
Jumbles
Yeah,
has
he
big
can do
gun.
anything. And yeah, he once.
His
he
big
can
gun
shoot-
once.
Yeah. He can shoot once.
That
really
second
far.
ability of that card is horrifying. But Malevolence is how. So from when the campaign started to where it is now, how different is your character? Like the idea of your character.
I don't get to play very often.
That's true.
I'm not usually over.
How many times
here.
have you played like on stream?
Been
a player,
I've been,
rather.
I've been in a decent amount of one shots. I think actually this and Sentima are the first not one shots.
Happy to be part of both of them.
Played in on a stream at all. But we've had occasionally we would break up our campaigns with like holiday one shots. Nick ran a couple Halloween one shots across the years I played in those, but it's really been like on one hand number of one shots that I've been a player. So I came in with GM brain and have a very like full and complete idea of what I want to do with Talus. And to my surprise, it has pretty much gone like exactly how I thought it would go.
according to
Like, his personality is, I mean, no personality or anything ends up exactly how you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not even entirely confident what Talos' personality is. He's just all over the place. But as far as like his development and like how he's progressed as a character in the mirror and everything, this is exactly according to plan. This is exactly how I thought these things were going to go out. It's worked super well at this table, particularly with you two giving me like opportunities and things to play off of to build it out to like.
You talked about magic too much. You talked about magic too much, man.
When have we ever talked about the mirror, 8-year-old frog child?
What the heck, dude? I have so much more to offer. Gun.
Did you expect Cass to like tell Talus to give her the mirror?
The reason I say this is because that's the part that was different. Is I've ended up in the same place, but it is the opposite of how I thought I was going to get here. Because I thought almost all of my development with Talus was going to be off Jumbles and Litzy. You were the two characters that I thought Talus was going to be
We
close
let you
with.
down, man.
Because
We let you
like,
down.
I mean, that
we
cl-
talked a bunch. I mean,
We
we
did
lived
talk a bunch
together,
about it,
so
yeah.
we talked a bunch about stuff we're gonna do. And I just Talus' whole thing was gonna be like super protective of Jumbles. You're also there. I think that's probably come in. I think that's kind of come through decently at this point. But like that was my thought, and that's not really how it ended up. I mean, it kind of started maybe a little bit there.
and I think
but like
you
almost
know,
all my big character scenes have been with you.
Yeah.
Like because you start them.
And you mentioned that you felt like Amadeus and Cass would be really close to Talus, and I think that closeness lends to the character development being more driven by scenes with Amadeus and
No,
Cass.
I didn't think they'd be close to Talus at all. I thought I thought the opposite. I thought I'd be really close with Litzy and Jumbles. Was what I thought, and because you know
We have some
we got some stuff. We got some problems.
Tune in to the more episodes of Malevolence.
They're
We got some
cooking.
problems. But I really didn't. I just didn't think like Talus and Cass would have anything really.
I
Because,
felt like
I didn't-
because there's that like similarity with magic and stuff like that, and being like
I guess I'm the closest thing to another caster. That
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, as Amadeus, I've praised Cass for her magical ability, like just like her grandmother, that sort of thing. And obviously, You're not a wizard.
You turn to Talus and
I'm
you're
not a
like,
wizard.
"Can you stop with the magic?" Like,
Not that
pretending.
magic.
Good magic.
You
Not
gotta
this crap.
You gotta earn that magic or make friends with the
Not-
fox.
not these weird items that you don't even know how to use.
Look, witch, you just found an animal that pissed magic into your mind, okay? We can't all do that.
Disgusting. Putrid, even.
I'm that meme where it's like, oh hey there, and then you come up with your magic. I'm like, hello HR.
Yes. Oh my god. But
Just another real quick note for chat. A guy asked me to explain a combo in Magic the Gathering. I'm not
my
going
God.
to. I'm not going to,
Okay.
but I do love that he did call me IRL Jumbles. Which I'm not going to say my name now. It's just IRL Jumbles.
That's your new name.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it.
IRL Jumbles Roof.
It's my full legal name.
No, but what about you guys with your characters? I
I
don't know how
mean-
much you guys had. I feel like I had like an entire campaign arc planned of character wise for
Yeah.
Talos. How much did you guys have like intended for beyond the starting point?
I didn't really have like a full idea of where Cass's development would go. There were some bits like the tense relationship with Litzy and stuff. And like when I first was coming up with the character, I was imagining
These
her
are my children now.
Yeah. But I was imagining that Cass would be a lot more of a stoic goth, where like she just kind of keeps her emotions close to her chest. And I was initially planning on having like the sort of micro-expressive intonation like Jenna Ortega did as Wednesday. And so that was my initial plan. And then when we all met to like play card games and like role play as our characters to kind of flesh out that family dynamic, just complete change. Like and Cass is a lot more like outwardly sensitive of a person than I initially thought that she would be. With the latest episode where I was trying to comfort Anatoly. Like rewatching that, I was just like, that is so much different than the original Cass. And
It's a very empathetic.
yeah,
character.
yeah.
Very empathetic goth teenager.
Yeah, and Reggie turned out to be different than I initially imagined him.
Oh yeah.
Like-
Is it
I
because
would-
he
I probably, yeah.
crap
You didn't
you
think your
all the
fox was
time?
gonna crap on you constantly? Like,
You didn't think he'd just be your bully. You thought he'd be a friend?
your high school bullies. He was supposed to be magic. Yeah.
Like my initial idea was that he would still be kind of like sardonic, but also like very philosophical and stuff. But I love the way that he's turned out. Like Sully
You
just
literally only shows up when you bond by yourself. And
yes,
that's like-
and I'm just like, are you kidding me? And also when he like ran off and like went on a date with that fox, and
Who's
was
dead
Who
now.
was definitely
Yes.
shot.
Wasn't bleeding, but that fox thought they were bleeding.
yeah.
Fox was a deado.
Super ditto.
I did not do that. Directly.
And I think what really like solidified my idea of the closeness between Cass and Talus was in that first episode when we were at the gate and I was like, look over there, and you just like paused and you're like, fine, I'm gonna play into this, and just looked the other way. Like that was the moment that I'm like, yes, this is a very close relationship. I like this. So yeah.
If we'll just go down the line. For
That is
jump,
not a line, but go for it.
we're jumping around the line.
It's like ping pong.
This side of the table is talking now. You sit over there and be quiet.
So, anyways,
I'm just gonna roll some dice over here.
For
17.
nice.
for Jumbles, he both changed more. His relationships changed than I thought they would be, because I had thought, first of all, to the point of what you were saying earlier with the card game, Sully had us do a very fun and cool thing, which was in character we played a game of Go Fish, And that kind of really helped. No, it wasn't Go Fish. It was Bullcrap. It was we just played
Yeah.
like
We
a
did
bluffing
both,
game.
We
Right.
did
Right.
Go
Oh,
did you
Fish
do both?
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So
then, then
it
we
was
played
it was
BS.
a very cool and unique way of getting us to kind of feel these characters, especially in like a family game night setting is very fun. And then so yeah,
Sidebar.
yes.
When we played BS, me and Bryn, Talis and Litzy, brother and sister, we found out later, we went in with the plan that I was literally going to BS every time I played, and she was going to call BS every time I played. We independently developed those plans.
I was like, every single time I will call
Call
you
everything,
every
and
single
I was
time.
never going to tell the truth once.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And also like Amadeus not really remembering how the rules work and being like, so what do I do now? Like that was a great moment.
There was a moment at the end which was we were playing BS and Gary as Amadeus had like all of the cards and he just goes there's 2 decks in there and he goes 9 kings and we go what you should have 8 like we're all like razzing him and then he lays down 9 kings like an extra one got in there and we all just
We
screamed.
to date have no explanation for where the 9th king came. We had 2 fresh decks and we
brand
combined
new.
them. We thought it was a bit because he'd been doing the I don't understand the rules the whole time. He said 9 kings, put the cards down, so Cass obviously called them and flipped over 9 kings. We do not know what happened. Did you like just bring a card?
Did your heart say to bring a king of hearts?
I'm gonna be honest. That was me genuinely playing the game, and then I'm like, wait a minute, yeah. Why is there one more card than there should be?
So we have no answer for where the 9th king came from.
Sounds like a great plot hook for a
This
fantasy
is
adventure.
the weirdest mild haunting I've ever experienced.
that was the first haunting event of Malevolence.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But so when we did that, I had thought that Litzy would actually be much more distant from Jumbles. And it was, in fact, the complete opposite, where you were dotting on Jumbles. And I was like, and I thought that Jumbles would be way more close with Cass instead. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll pivot. Like I'll figure out what to do. That was the biggest shock. And I think through the episodes, it has developed much more with Jumbles kind of showing it to everybody, like kind of spreading out that he loves and cares for people. And that's, I think, the biggest change. Because I had kind of also thought that Jumbles would be a much more obnoxious little kid. But he's not quite. He kind of just wants.
Disaster child.
Yeah, like in that first episode, I'm playing him way more chaotic than like I am now. Granted, we've been traumatized
We've been
12
almost
different
murdered
times.
numerous times. So.
But like that's how I kind of thought he would be through the whole campaign. But that's character growth, you know? That's progression.
It's character development, baby.
We're all about that.
Aging 4 years in the span of 3 days.
Well, it's interesting because both of your characters, like as people and as players, I think you just automatically ended up filling gaps in the party dynamic. So like while you were trying or originally planning on playing something that was a little bit more stoic, you've got 2 very stoic players.
Yeah.
We've discussed it. This is the chaos side of the table.
We have fun over here. We get a little
This
silly.
is the
Yes.
good times board.
That's the undeniable.
We are undeniable. It is undeniable.
They actually do damage and in fights.
I was gonna say
Undeniable.
that's the research side. This is the combat side.
Whenever we start really research, me and Gary are like, so, how's it going? What are you doing?
How's your day been?
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah.
But I kind of think that that's probably a little bit where that went in a little bit because there were a lot of scenes where I think you saw. Yeah.
Is that on screen? I hope that's on screen because that's a good image.
I would
the
assume
stream
it's on
see that?
screen if you went to the effort of making it.
Oh my god, that's so amazing.
Return the king or suffer my curse.
It turns out I'm the 9th king.
Brennan has no idea what she's
It's
looking
that-
at, but it's
No
okay.
idea, but that's okay.
You know, I
It's
love that
alright.
Lord of the Rings movie, Return the King.
And
The
also,
oft-forgotten 4th chapter.
that also had a Magic the Gathering set recently. So Malevolence, like you were saying.
That's what the Tatterman looks like. The Tatterman from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my god. gosh.
But yeah, so like I just figured that both of those. Also, like we have very few people who can express appreciation for other people in this party as well. So I feel like Jumbles also learned that through like there is kind of a hole in the party where we were like, well, someone needs to have good feelings.
Someone needs to be happy.
We need good vibes somewhere.
Yeah, someone needs to.
But this could be a very depressing family.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like the relationship between Litzy and Cass, first episode, I thought that it was going to be a lot more like sniping kind of thing because when we did the family game night role playing, I was like being sarcastic and snipey, and there was a moment where I said something, and then you looked at me and you're like, "Are you trying to start a problem?" And I just went. And like, oh my gosh, I was expecting like a lot more tension, and it's turned into more of like we don't understand each other,
it's like
and
confused. We're like,
yeah,
I don't have like an explicit problem with you. I just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Ironically, no idea how to raise a teenage
Yeah.
girl.
Yes.
No recollections of
I
being
don't
a
know.
teenage
Yeah.
girl. We are
Yeah,
elves,
my-
and that was a long time ago.
my very artistic daughter does not want to go to like accounting school. Like I'm like I have no idea what to do with you.
and like our characters.
I wanted a STEM kid.
I want a kid who can appreciate a good stamp of approval.
And like our characters are so different in like direction but so similar in personality that like that time when we both were yelling at Talus and you were just kind of like hyping me up
I
behind
bring
me
people together.
like oh my gosh like it's really funny looking at the similarities and differences between our characters. And I really love how it's turned out. Like in the first episode when you were establishing that you had previously asked Amadeus for advice on how to try and connect with Cass. And you were like, I tried, just acknowledging what she's saying and going with it.
I tried
but
listening.
You're acknowledging but not listening.
yeah. And like I thought that was such a great touch because like it took it in a different direction than I anticipated. And so like I liked it a lot.
I gotta say, I had to resist so hard from saying just like, why are you asking me? And it's like, oh right, I'm her grandfather.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
I think as far as things going differently than what we expected in our original plans, like I said, I thought Jumbles and Tellus were going to be super close. So we've kind of ended up being like opposite forces in the party. Because we've talked about a bunch of times as a group is like Jumbles is the only thing that keeps us all grounded. Jumbles is in danger for 1 second.
Yeah.
We drop absolutely everything else.
And we fall apart.
immediately become, well, and yes.
I mean that is what
Tensions build
happened.
quick.
Like
That's accurate.
when we
He's
got
like,
to Anatoly's room, we were just like a mess.
this is our like single unifying factor is everyone must protect the small frog child, and I'm just like the source of nearly all family drama. I'm the source of all strife and difficulty, the numitous experience.
Oh,
We have
man.
opposite jobs.
Because I think it does show well, specifically with Talus, it shows how protective he is of Jumbles. Because we haven't had a crazy amount of scenes that we've done together. But, whoa, thank you.
We're gonna
Scared
learn
me.
something.
Uh,
Okay, how high of a level you'll all get before the campaign ends from saying Fox 10? I'm pretty sure we're definitely getting to 5. I don't
Yeah.
recall if we get to play at 6 at all.
I think we just go to 5. I think it's 3 to 5.
I know it being one of these like Paizo module adventures, it's like ends at 6. But I think it's one of those post adventure. If you wanted to continue, you guys would hypothetically be 6. So I think level 5. I think you're right. I think level 5 is the highest that you will see, and I'm excited for it because boy howdy, I'm getting a big old power spike level 5. This is gonna be a real good time for me.
Nice.
I was looking at the level 5 stuff, but I don't remember a lot of it. Investigator is just interesting because it's also like a lot of the feats for Investigator are actually good, and I'm just like, I have to kind of learn. I have to learn how to play Investigator, but also figure out what's actually best for him.
It is
And there's
weird.
like
It's a
very
weird class.
specific things that you can get with it.
To run off on that from Sandbox 10 there real quick, when we're doing these like little podcast talk show adventures, we do have $1 AMAs, $1 tip. You ask anything, we'll immediately answer, or you will tangent our discussion in the direction of your choosing.
But don't ask about magic.
Yeah, please. I mean,
My
you
boy
can,
Link
but,
1429 has been going off in there, and I've been holding back. Okay, I wish you all appreciate. I've been holding back on
you
this
did
time for
make
Lord of the Rings.
You did make us a promise, so like, I mean, are you a man of your word?
He's tempting me. Okay, the serpent in the garden is tempting me, and I'm denying him. Thank you, Link.
Look at a 5th level investigator.
Yes, the 5th level investigator is the biggest benefits are I get more healing boosts because Jumbles can heal like it's nobody's business. And there's just another I can learn magic. Is one of the things I can do. Like I can actually
more
This could be the wizard table.
like I could. I'm debating on it, and I'm not gonna promise anything, but that is an option that is on the table. Of I could learn some very, very basic spells.
I just want the stat boost, man. Level 5, I've made Talus like a dex-based thaumaturge, which means I am so spread across so many stats. So being able to get like just the level 5, if you guys didn't see this, you get stat boost at level 5.
Yep.
You get to pick 4 core stats and put another boost in them, which is going to be huge for me because I'm going to get my dex up, I'm going to get my strength up, I'm going to get my int up. I need all of those really badly. I kind of want to leave his int at 10 just because it's funny. I really kind of like that Talus is an idiot. They know what we have going on.
So smart,
But
so
it would boost all of my knowledges. And it would be so good.
Yeah.
What's Fighter 5 like? How are you? What's happening in that town?
When he crits people, they just die.
Like, are you a living tornado?
I raise my geese arm and they just crumble like
give
Lego
up
pieces. Yeah,
They just run.
lots of, like you said, stat boost. So I just get better at things overall. I can't quite remember some of like. Do we get any feats?
We get class feats. You get feats every level in Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Nice.
It's just whether they're class or general or skill or whatever. And 5, I think, is a class feat for everybody.
That's what it's after
I
this.
get one.
That's what it is for investigator. Is after this, each level I get a class feat. Like I get like a ton of class feats after that. Chat can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
4 was a bit of a nothing burger for me, but it was okay. You can't win them all.
I trained myself in occultism because I was like, wow, okay, first of all, I want to be a part of this.
Someone's got to pass a research check. It might as well be me.
I got a class feat, but I took a feat that is going to do literally nothing except be a really cool scene in RP one time. It's gonna be cool, but that's all it's.
Sounds like a GM talking over there.
All it's gonna do. Like,
That's the GM plan.
I picked an entire feat that's gonna be a cool moment once. You can figure out what.
That's also a lot of Pathfinder feats in general. It's just like very
Not usually-
specific. Like you
usually
can do this
class
cool.
feats though. Class feats usually are things that are like build arounds and you get a lot of stuff out of. Skill feats, absolutely. They're like this is probably never gonna come up a single time.
Like
But if it
forensics.
does, it's gonna be cool. Like,
And like there was this one feat when I was first creating Cass. One of the witch feats is having you both just taking a drink at the same time. I'm sorry, that
It's 'cause
distracted
we're
me. It
just
was very
cool.
funny.
We're both cool and handsome like that.
what can I say?
But-
We're hydrated fellas.
He knows what it's about.
But it was hair that moves on its own and
Oh,
can like.
there's an entire feat tree for the hair now.
Oh
There's
my
like 4
God.
or 5 of them. You can just keep upgrading the hair.
That's amazing.
Hair
Like
tree sounds bad, and I don't want to be a part of that.
You don't want witch fighty hair?
No,
She
not
can
when it's a
she
hair
can
tree.
grapple people with her hair.
I love I love Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and so like imagining how Midna, her hair can like just turn into a big old hand and stuff. I loved that
Just turn
idea.
to a fist and punch people.
Yeah, and like
Hyrule Warriors is fun.
It was a game.
but I asked Devin for help with my character sheet, and he set me up with much more useful feats. So yeah.
Male hair witch beat the crap out of people with your beard.
I liked
Style beard fist.
I liked Colby's comment under it of the bo nose hairs, which is I like 6 other people remember that insane TV show.
I
Yeah,
had
I
a
have
friend
no idea
that
what that
like
is.
loved that, and I did not get it. I was like, nose hairs. Oh my god, no!
It is an insane anime from like 2004
And,
where
like,
it's this
the
man with a
gas
big
man.
white afro or big yellow afro that
Yeah.
fights people with his nose hairs, and they grow out like snakes and whip people. That's him. He's
Yeah.
It's an insane show, and if you don't get his name right, his full name is Bo, and if you get one wrong Bo, he kills you, like insta kills you. So anyway, Pathfinder.
If you have
I'm
a
trying
friend
so
who likes
hard.
Bobobo, get different friends. Wise words from a wise man.
I didn't like it. I want it on record. I didn't like it. Oh, we gotta pivot now.
So, aliens, $1 per reaction. Aliens,
gosh.
speaking of Malevolence,
Hey,
Yes.
who saw that coming at all?
that was weird.
That was a very fun twist.
I
That
was
was a-
stunned for like a whole day after that. I was just kind of like, aliens. Oh my god, that's a twist I never would have seen coming.
Aren't elves extra?
So we had a
planar
huge
things?
conversation
Discord went
in
off.
the Discord
Check out
after
the
this.
UGT show Discord.
About the fact,
It's a
yeah, most of it was
natural
in
plug.
the the UGT server. It wasn't even like our private show discussion. So like it's there to look at in the analogs of Discord history
The
about
receipts
the
are there.
fact that Pathfinder elves are probably aliens, which is a thing I forget often
Yeah, I kinda
because
forgot,
it
yeah.
absolutely never comes up. But it's just weird that we made this family elven.
Yeah, and Jumbles.
And me.
Yes.
Our adopted frog son. So we got a bunch of aliens and half aliens going into a house where aliens are eating everyone's brain.
Yeah. And like bouncing off of that, one of the things that I was thinking and like asking in my head about that was it's a bunch of aliens that are going to come here for the banquet and they eat people's memories and stuff. I'm like, is this how the gap happens between Pathfinder
I
and
legitimately
Starfinder?
thought that too. I was like, is this
They
like
ate
everybody?
friends. Very effective aliens.
It really is a cinematic universe. That's what we're creating here.
They got the Galactus of the
Oh my
aliens.
God.
Can you
and eat the
imagine
whole
how
planet.
upset the Starfinder community would be if the explanation for the gap happened in Pathfinder and not in Starfinder?
I don't know, because Starfinder is all of Pathfinder is canon to Starfinder.
Yeah, but,
so
like, there's-
that could be. They've never said what the gap was, and the in lore reason it's never said why. And if you ask any of the gods are like, I don't want to talk about
Every
it.
now and then I forget Pathfinder elves are aliens, and then you look at a Pathfinder elf, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, that's an alien.
Do all of your eyes look like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Horrifying.
Well, I think
Completely
most of us-
solid.
I think most of us are half elves. You're full elf.
I'm
Full
a
elf,
full elf.
full
You're
elf,
a full elf. So
and
they
then
have
half.
they have flat color eyes. Talus is a half elf. Talus has human looking eyes.
Oh.
And I think Amadeus has human looking eyes.
Yes.
Because you have full blooded elves.
You can actually see the art. The art is
It is.
actually
It is in
right,
the
yeah.
art that
Yes.
Cass and Litzy have flat colored
Oh,
eyes.
I never even realized that.
Well, it's hard because the art is kind of small.
Yeah,
And it's very stylized.
it's very
Very
stylized. I thought it was just the
stylized.
stylized. I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
But no,
like-
yeah, their eyes are flat color in the art, and we're half elves and we have normal eyes. Because it is only like full blooded elves have that.
The
And
only reason that
Whatever
Amadeus
that
isn't just a
is.
full human is because you guys wanted to be elves.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
here's-
Amadeus is the most like
here's Cass's
generic
character.
man you could possibly be.
He's the most human man.
Yeah.
He's the most human elf.
His backstory is he was in the military.
Just a guy.
Yeah.
There's Cass's art. Knowing that, yeah, it is incredibly stylized, but knowing that, you
Yeah.
can see she's got the completely flat black eyes.
Yep.
Which was
Also-
hard to do with like eyeliner.
Yeah.
First of all,
The eyeliner
as
has
an
to be
artist,
darker than
I was
the
like,
eye.
it's
Wow,
just
yeah.
a panda eye. Like I don't know what to say. Like I
And
don't know
Litzy
what
as
to
well,
tell
flat
you.
black
I
eyes.
I love the work you did for the art.
Oh, another question. What do you think about the upcoming book, Rage of the Elements, is coming out this month? So we actually, our first pilot test of a bunch of idiots just sitting around a table talking about whatever, doing this thing, was talking about the Kineticist playtest.
Oh, that's the Kineticist
Yes.
thing? That's coming
it's
out.
Kineticist and a lot more, but like that is the class it's coming out with.
Oh, sick.
It's that. It's a bunch of information about the elemental planes. It's just a bunch more elemental expansion stuff. That comes out on, I guess, August 3rd. I know it's coming out of Gen Con. I guess that's August 3rd, so that's real soon.
Couldn't tell you.
So we will get the finalized Kineticist in the very near future.
Wow, that was like almost a full year ago that we did that too.
Yeah, it was a
Should
lot.
we?
I mean,
Is that our
wild.
1 year anniversary?
1 year anniversary, do it again, but
Do
with
it
the
ag-
actual Kineticist.
Yeah.
And they're all of their options. I'm excited because Kineticist. This is a side tangent. There is a video game called Pathfinder Kingmaker that is one of the few, like, it uses the Pathfinder system video games that exists, and that it's the follow-up Wrath of the Righteous. And I played through a bunch of that, and I played a Kineticist. because when given the opportunity to just make a Pathfinder character, the very rare opportunity I had with first edition mechanics, I picked Kineticist because it's a freaking cool class. So
super
I'm
cool.
super pumped for it. I love Kineticist.
So what was really weird about that game is that, like, I know they're planning on taking out the, like, good and what is it?
The alignments.
The alignments in Pathfinder. That was one of the things that I found really difficult about that game.
Oh, I think
Is
that was
that-
a decent part of why I stopped playing it, probably.
Yeah. Well, it was a very different because, I mean, it's kind of subjective on what is good and what is evil. And so that was a kind of a difficult to have an entire video game where what you do and what you play is judged on whether or not it's good or evil. I was like, well, that's...
As a huge Pathfinder enjoyer and stan of like 10 years, playing Pathfinder
Paizo
Kingmaker,
enjoyer.
playing Pathfinder Kingmaker spectacularly highlighted why having a human GM is so important. Because playing strictly, purely, no caveats, rules as written, Pathfinder in a static framework of a video game was subpar, I would
Well,
say.
and where
It
you
was
couldn't
fun.
explain your reasoning. Like, because it
Yeah,
really
you
does
couldn't,
make
like,
a
everything is what it
difference.
is. You can't make an argument for anything. You can't explain.
So how did this tie into the game itself? I'm confused. Like
Well-
how did the alignments tie into it?
So, I don't know. Do you want to explain the situation with the...
So the worst offender, the game had an alignment system. You didn't pick your alignment. You started at true neutral, and just like through dialogue, conversations, basically everything you did, you would get little points, and your little duke would drift around the alignment grid, and
Okay.
you would end up places.
Interesting. This sounds fun in concept.
It's fun in concept. The problem is, because it is a video game with a hard alignment system, everything is a strict, it's like Mass Effect. Every choice you make is stapled to an alignment shift. It does not matter what your logic or reason is, and you have to pick from the presented options. It will tell you, this is good for you, it will tell you up front what it's going to move you towards. So there's no ambiguity about like what way you're going. But you can't be like, how is this not this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't agree. The situation, there's a place, the game takes place in this mostly like unpopulated, kind of unsettled River Kingdoms area, kind of run by just like bandits and tribes, and there's no real big settlements, and it's kind of, if you can take land and own it, it's yours. Then it's what's called Kingmaker. You're trying to do that. There is a cult of a monster god, and the god's named Lamashtu. She is like the pinnacle of pure evil. She's literally the goddess of monsters, and the main thing that she does, caveat / warning, Pathfinder lore, will messed up sometimes. The main thing she does is she impregnates her worshippers, and they give birth to monsters. It's not good.
Yeah, it's a little
And
rough.
They are
But like monsters.
monsters.
Yeah.
Like you usually die birthing them, but that's
Cool.
like the highest feasance you could possibly give to Lamashtu is to
Real
die in birth to a 20-foot tall demon.
Real xenomorph energy coming off of her.
Yeah, it's not pretty. You find this cult,
She's beautiful.
and there is a woman. There is a woman who is has demonstrably, clearly, provably been impregnated by Lamashtu. Is bearing a monster that, if born, will be can fight a town. It's
Oh.
Yeah.
executing her is an evil action
Because she's pregnant.
because she's a pregnant lady.
Yeah.
And I was
So-
like,
That she
Look,
feels more neutral than anything.
I get
Yeah.
it, but there's a point where pragmatism is it's too. I mean, I get the argument that it really leans into the pragmatic is evil
Yeah.
side of things, but it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just let her give birth to a 20-story demon that's gonna kill 30 people then, instead of killing one person who's doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Like she
But,
went
like,
into this knowing
She
she
is
was going to
she's not
birth
like
a
an
monster.
innocent. She is
Yeah.
a priestess of Lamashtu. This is
Yeah.
she is trying to do it.
Yeah.
And get the monster as near as many people as possible to cause as much death as possible.
So they wanted
like-
to so they wanted the good thing was to imprison her, and we're like, what good is that gonna do?
It's
Yeah.
gonna break out.
Ah, cool. Let's bring it to the city.
What are you doing? Like, no. So, anyways, it was like, okay.
Time travel baby
Baby
Hitler
Hitler.
dilemma. Yeah, it's not super fun.
That's why. So that's why you don't kill baby Hitler. You kill Hitler's mom. That's how you solve the dilemma.
Yes, the more
Yeah.
evil action is giving
Yes.
birth to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so it was kind of tough. There was a couple choices like that where if you could explain your case a little bit, it would have been easier.
I feel like it leaned a
Yeah.
little lawful stupid on like the good decisions, and the like in a lot of cases the anything remotely reasonable or just like I don't know, I just want to prevent dozens of deaths is just evil. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I'm having a hard time getting behind this one, guys. Like
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
You saying lawful stupid just reminded me of how like
Of me.
early
Reminded you of
No,
me.
you're chaotic stupid.
Thank you. I'll take it.
But early in
I think
Ga-
Corey's true stupid.
He is neutral stupid at best. Okay, look.
I'm gonna call my therapist. We're gonna wrap the podcast up. I'll see you guys
First of
later.
all, he's the only one that keeps this party together. So everybody just keep that in mind.
Oh my gosh! But it reminded
You
me.
just took one psychic damage.
It felt like 100.
It's Pathfinder. It's mental damage.
Okay, sorry.
But it reminded me of early in mine and Gary's relationship. I made a joke that I'm chaotic dingus and he's lawful tired.
Very true. Very true.
Because
Yeah,
I am
seems
very
accurate.
chaotic. So
Bryn's
not.
awful tired.
Am I lawful tired? I thought everybody calls me evil. I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, if we're actual alignments, you're a chaotic evil, obviously. But I mean, like that's literally not a joke.
Let's not get it twisted.
There's
now.
no way I can present this to you that you're not going to take it as a joke. But like full 100% honesty, Bryn is chaotic evil. But like that's
You know, chaos is a ladder after all.
What would chaotic tired be? Is that narcolepsy?
Dang it, he's falling asleep again.
If I can find a spot to lay down on the floor, like a hardwood floor, I'll be asleep.
I feel like
she
chaotic
took 2
tired.
naps before this stream.
Envious,
Nice.
2
jealous.
independent 30-minute
I wish
naps.
I took a nap.
Because she took a 30-minute nap and then woke up and I was like, hey, I don't think we're having Malevolence tonight. She's like, oh, cool. I'm going to take another nap.
Psych, I got you.
But I feel like chaotic tired would be deliberately finding the most inconvenient places for other people to find them sleeping, like in front of doors.
So you're a cat then.
Cats
in
are
the middle of the
chaotic
kitchen, and
tired.
it's like, this is good. Then
Let me
falling
fall asleep on the stove.
You are a
cooking
rat to
for
all
you.
of the other rats. One of them is sleeping and they're like, ooh, that looks like a good pillow. And they walk over and climb all the way up on their face and just go until they start a fight.
So,
On top of the
Malevolence.
laptop.
Malevolence.
How do you? Back to your original question.
right.
How do you guys think your characters?
We got AMA'd.
Yeah, we got
$1
AMA.
AMA a
That
couple
was a
times.
reasonable tangent. How do you guys think your guys' characters changed from conception to now?
I think Amadeus is pretty on par. If anything, I worry I play him a little nicer than I should, just because I resonate towards trying to be nice. But I think a lot of that has been taken over by the fact that just trying to get the family to survive, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna let this go. But I think obviously Amadeus has buttons that can get pushed, so it's just a matter of time before certain buttons get pushed. But yeah, Amadeus is very much like the stoic, strict, stern, other S words.
Stupid, stylish.
Have you seen his
Wob.
drip? Insane.
Have you seen his outfit? Because, like, I mean,
Sleepy.
Man's got Riz.
If you see the first official art of Grandma Minnie, you're gonna see his Riz. It's insane.
So talking about art about Grandma Minnie.
Look at that man.
Look at that man.
Riz.
Look at that
God,
man.
look, he's got
Riz
dress
baby
shoes on.
Gronk
He's
or
got the
whatever.
loafers, the
Yeah.
two-tone loafers. He's got the ascot.
Oh, he's got the thing. He's got the ass.
you could stab a man with those shoes. You could
But-
stab a man with those shoes.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
That's pretty fancy.
Normalize.
Very fancy.
Yes.
Doesn't
but-
look like a horrible demon.
Yeah.
Love that.
That man's a veteran.
Yeah.
But
Had a good time
You
doing
see
it.
the shaved sides of the head?
Veteran.
But talking about Grandma Minnie, I was trying to work on some art of Grandma Minnie, and I was trying to emulate the style you used. And it's just so good. I was having trouble like emulating it, but I always
very
imagine what?
Pointy.
That was very pointy.
Yeah.
Very pointy.
style.
It's mostly like the color tones and stuff
Oh,
that I
yeah.
struggle with.
Oh, gotcha.
But like I always imagine Grandma Minnie as like a Studio Ghibli character. Like oh, what's her name from Howl's Moving Castle?
Howl.
Sophie.
Oh,
Is this
How
an
is
anime
it-
thing?
Billy Crystal.
But
Yes.
Sophie, like in her
Howl's Moving Castle from RuneScape?
Howl's
What?
Moving Castle is an anime from Studio Ghibli from
Okay.
like 2004.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
Did you not know this?
No,
I'm sorry,
I
look at
definitely.
me.
I just got like 95 archaeology and got into Howl's Moving Castle in RuneScape, and I've been trying to do that forever.
So they
I need to-
did. They did a reference to it in the RuneScape.
I'm
and to you,
sure,
that
yeah.
was the truth.
wild.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I know it. I've heard this one before. I just got there in RuneScape like a month ago, and now I can finally do Ancient Invention. Like,
Go watch Howl. It's a good movie. We should watch it.
So good.
It's really good.
It's the only Studio Ghibli movie I've seen, and that's kind of all I need, quite frankly. Because
it's
I'm
not
like,
even
this is
like
the
called
one.
something slightly different. It's literally Howl's Castle.
How did they
like
spell Howl?
Flying
Fun little fact. It's a book
HOWL.
too.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. That's
It's
just
based
it.
on a
Because
book.
they're
Yeah.
race of bird people, yeah.
Apostrophe S, like a possessive.
Well, the guy's name is Howl. Yeah,
Yeah.
Howl's the
Yeah.
All right, so it's just
inventor
straight
that
up
was
the
there.
name of the movie. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Good book.
he's the inventor that's up there that's making all the crazy mechanisms.
Off topic, but you know what everyone else. Someone else read it. I gave up on reading
Off
it.
topic, but
Thank
you
you.
you know what everyone else do for a living. I'm not.
But do you know what everyone else like? What
But you-
like what we all do for a living besides AJ? I guess
I do this.
AJ does this.
Well,
I
not
am
this one,
currently
but the first
unemployed.
one.
I work in a real estate office. I work in a real estate office. And I also.
I hope you weren't expecting like exciting answers.
I'm
to
so
this.
sorry.
We're just a bunch of dudes, man. Like,
I work in a real estate office. I'm a part-time office assistant. I do part-time school.
Oh,
I
it's
got
called,
a
it's
lot.
called
spy.
House Floating Workshop in RuneScape. Okay.
Oh,
It was close enough. My brain
Yeah.
was like, "That's what it's called."
I was
I'm
wondering
pretty
why they
sure.
just legally
Okay,
stole the
no, yeah,
name.
It's
Yeah.
called Howl's Floating Workshop.
What are your guys' employers? And what's your average pay rate? And is it good? And are you hiring?
Next question. I work in marketing, so I do a lot of photo video stuff.
E1.
I
Fire
ride
trucks.
horses
She
for a
rides
living.
horses.
It's a oddly specific and
We had to
weird
take that
job.
trailer to get a tire fixed today.
That is true. That is true. It's supposed to be real. It's supposed to be my day off today. It was not. But
We were out for like 3 hours. It was
So
great.
2 of the 5 people have fun jobs, and the rest of us exist, and we can't deny that.
I'm working on getting my my career started in concept art, but that is very difficult considering I don't want to move out of Florida at this time, and like almost all of it is in California, New York,
oh,
sometimes Georgia.
I think you've been doing a really great job with your art, though. Like,
Thank
just within the last few weeks, UGT, Riley made impromptu art for the
Barbie meme.
Oh, the
movie,
Barbie
the
meme.
Barbie and Ken mugshots, and
Yeah.
Riley did our Secrets Between the Stars
That was good.
characters.
That was a good
So
one.
check out
That
that
was
Reddit post and also social media post. So good. So
super good.
good.
Super good. Yeah.
Oh,
I just ride
thank you,
horses.
Sayin Fox.
Thank you, Saying Fox.
Yeah, he said, I wish you all the luck.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah, thank
The
you.
good news is you live like 20 feet from Disney, so it's not like nothing. in
Well, I don't
Florida.
live in Orlando.
You live in Orlando adjacent.
Ocala?
Orlando adjacent.
Like, oh, yeah, there's my art.
Slots and crabs.
He's opening tabs. Give him a second. He's trying to
It's
get
okay.
him the full-
I
Yeah.
believe in him.
Anyway, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a super exciting table.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're just
I
some
mean,
dudes.
I feel like it's a pretty exciting table for like I don't know.
For the people that work these jobs, it's exciting that like we're excited.
Like, I-
Yeah, we got it with Strange Aeons. People were like, "Yeah, grocery store produce clerk." Like, we get hype for Colby. We should get hype for Colby. The man suffers for his,
He
for his art.
suffered. That man works his booty off.
Oh, he
and
does.
He does not get much appreciation there.
He tries his best.
We're in a fist fight every Publix in his name.
Yep. I go into
We only got a
Publix.
fist fight one Publix.
No.
It's one Publix specifically.
They're like a lineage. They're like a lineage. They're like
we gotta
a,
take down the
like a
Publix
kingdom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what it is.
We're gonna like France this.
Well, speaking of art, what's the story behind the intro vids?
Intro
I don't
vids.
know how much story there is necessarily, other than like I make them or Corey makes them. We just do stuff. So we have
What is the ratio now?
we got like 3 that I can think of recently. We got Strange Aeons one, we got the Malevolence one, and we had the Sentiment one.
Yes.
And Sentima you made,
I did Sentima.
which
was
was
phenomenal.
super
The voiceover,
fantastic.
great.
Honestly,
Oh my
The
god.
voiceover,
was
Nick's doing
Excellent
that.
vision, excellent done.
that
excellently
was
done.
Nick's National Geographic voice
Ah,
was
so
S
good.
tier.
Yeah.
That was
Can
a
we
really
just have
good
him
one. I like
talk
that
like
one a lot.
that all the time?
It's in the bylaws now.
I like that one enough. I think I'm going to straight pretty much rip the concept for the Strange Aeons season 2 and just do a very similar style of intro because
That's
I really
fine.
like it.
I can also do it if you want. Like
it's
I know
also
how.
like not a slight, but it's way less work.
No,
Making the
that's,
Strange
that
Aeons
is literally
season one.
why I did that.
The Strange Aeons book 1 intro I made, it took an inordinate amount of time, and I'm not very happy with it at all. I mean, own harshest critic, etc. But I don't like the Strange Aeons intro we have right now very much. I think it's fine, but like for the amount of effort I put into it, I'm not good enough at Blender yet to do stuff like that. I really like the Malevolence intro though.
Malevolence
I did that
intro's
one
great.
too.
That's my
and
favorite
it's
one. I love
super
that.
entertaining. That's my best one I've done
The
so far.
Scooby Doo vibes of it with everybody coming from different doors. I love that.
The story is just like we have an idea and we make them. I don't know. I wish I
Yeah.
could give you a cooler backstory than that, but it was pretty much Scooby-Doo Hallway was what I was given for Malevolence. You just come with a nature documentary for Sentima,
Sentima.
and I was just like, let's make some stuff that looks like the Asylum.
The funny one for Secrets Between the Stars was I'll say this, then we can move on to the next
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Is, for Secrets, it was I made that and then I posted it online, and then a lot of the comments on both like Reddit and Twitter were like, "Ooh, this is giving Cowboy Bebop vibes." And Cowboy Bebop
All right,
is
the Starfinder had intro too. I
Yes.
forgot
Did
that
you
had
just
its own
like?
full intro.
Did you just were you?
We're 2
was
and
your
2
life
then.
complete? Did you? Were you like? I could
well,
die
no,
happy
well
now?
that's what I was gonna. It's funny to me because okay, like full transparency, Cowboy Bebop is just my favorite show. Period. Like I absolutely adore that show. But the main inspiration for that intro was the Cyberpunk Edge Runners show. Their intro, I was more like, I kind of want to do something a little similar to that. And then I posted it, and everyone was like, it's Cowboy Bebop. And I was like, is everything I do in my life, am I doomed to just continuously do it?
Deep in
Is
your
that a bad
soul,
thing?
Cowboy
It's fine.
Bebop.
It's like, if you, yeah, it's
So
Cowboy
we got a
Bebop all the
fat
way
one.
down.
This is not a $1 AMA. This is Tim C
Ooh.
throwing us a big old
Thank
fitty
you,
just
Tim.
for show
Oh.
support. So first of all,
Love you.
thank you. That's an incredible amount of support. We're glad you're enjoying
Thank
the
you,
show.
Tim
And
C.
thank you for the dollars. For
Seriously.
solely stepping in the GM role with AJ as a player, the Dynamics created a very awesome learning opportunity as a new Pathfinder 2e player. Incredible value. Would buy from again. Ah! Just make the will save. No, you can't make me.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, probably Corey. I mean, like you said, the 3 of us who are coming from 5th edition.
Solely too.
Sully too.
Sully has
oh
played
yeah,
very little
Very
Pathfinder.
little
Jumping
when
into
she started running this, she had like
Almost
4
zero,
episodes
yeah.
of Strange Aeons was
And
her
like
Pathfinder,
a one-
and like
one or
a
two
one
shots.
shot was
Yeah.
her Pathfinder experience. So,
Could I interject real quick
Yeah.
with I saw Bar Save the Whales chat message saying Clementine was the Insta ID for me. Thank you so much. That means so much. Oh my god.
But she is super new to this and
Yes.
Yeah.
is doing a fantastic job of running it, and it is. They grow up so fast. It's
Are you getting emotional?
dreadful. I'm so proud of her. But it is super interesting because I have played like a ton of Pathfinder, and I've been playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition since it was a thing, which is admittedly only like 2 or 3 years at this point. It's still relatively new. But it's interesting because I don't like we're not cheating. I am not reading Malevolence. I have no idea what kind of stuff we're running into. So I can't help her prep at all. I can't tell her what things are going to be like sticking points or what things are not going to run how it looks like it is or are going to come out kind of awkward. And I try really hard that if it's not like super important or she looks like she's stuck, I'm just like it works like this actually. We got to do it this way and just let her do however it makes sense to her, because then it's I mean we don't care that much about being exactly rules is written. We mostly get there, and
Real cool.
She's pretty good on it, honestly. And especially because Malevolence is throwing a lot of really weird,
Very
really weird,
stuff. Yeah.
like hard
Yeah.
to run encounters at us. A lot of like incorporeal, which is very difficult to prepare for if you haven't run it before. Like how sluggish it's going to get.
I
trying
just
to
power
beat or
attack
something.
them. What do you mean? I haven't had a problem.
It's
And
also, 'cause it's not even
haunts,
spaced out. Just like it's got the haunts. It doesn't even have just like normal combat
There are
stuff.
very few regular combats.
Yeah.
And like the ones that there are, we don't do.
Yeah.
Like the mimic and fish boy
and the
and,
bird boy, whatever his name was.
and-
Anatoly.
and
Anatoly.
Anatoly. Yeah, we just don't fight them. So we skipped a couple opportunities we have for regular encounters. But it's super interesting. It helps me see what's confusing too, because I'm so deep in the weeds of Pathfinder that I sometimes find myself with the fault of like, what do you not get? Like, what's confusing here? I'm trying to tell somebody something because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
It's hard to think back of first trying to learn the game and having not just Sully, but like you three here also with the lens of new player experience to see like what is confusing or what is
He's getting up. I didn't know we could do this. We just get up and leave off of the set.
What chaos is this?
What's going on around here?
these exist.
Yeah, I've got them.
Oh, okay.
The
I
time.
was like, 'cause you pull an index card out for Shield, and I'm like, we gotta help you. We have these.
I made index cards to like help myself and to keep like it's my specific way of dealing with it.
Okay,
but
as long as
when
you know these are there.
Yeah, when I
Okay.
forgot my index cards, one episode, like I got a handful of the ones that I have in the cards, and I even like wrote down little quick like explanation things of ones that I couldn't find cards of. So yeah.
Fair enough. Someday I told myself I'm going to remember while I'm here to tell you that we have spell cards, and I'm not going to remember it 6 hours later when it's useless to me.
Yeah.
But you do. You've got a big old stack under there. Fair enough.
So here's my question. We are now an hour and 15 minutes in. I'm good to keep going if you guys are. Small request, and I'm going to break the fourth wall a bit. I have to pee so bad. I have to pee ridiculously bad. I drank like 6 bottles of water and like
so
2 coffees
hydrated.
today.
Yeah.
I have to pee so
My
bad.
man is hydrated.
So my question is, do we want to take a 5-minute break real quick, or you guys keep talking, and as we've shown, we can just break the set and just walk away. I can just go pee real
You
quick.
saw AJ do that, and now your brain has
He's
expanded.
like, it's like,
You're
I can leave. I'm not stuck
Wait
here.
a second, I don't have a buckle
You
on.
have no reason to hold this.
I don't have to keep my hands inside the vehicle. I can move around the cabin.
Your bladder is like, wait a minute now. We can actually. This is
Every-
a realistic option.
Everything's different now. Nothing's the same anymore.
Go pee.
All right, keep talking.
Get going.
Bye,
I
guys.
release
Oh,
you from
man.
your torment, brother.
Be free, my son.
But immersion.
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah.
All right, now
And
we're gonna be
I
really
also-
quiet and listen and see if we can hear him peeing. If it picks up on the mic.
I was
Oh
gonna
my
say,
God.
I'll never forget. One of the first UGT streams we ever did was, as we affectionately called it, Baby's First Pathfinder,
Baby's First
and that was
Pathfinder.
very fun.
I can't remember. I had a really funny name for it. I can't remember what it was, and it really fit in with the fact that everybody had no idea what to play. For those who have looked at spells of Tui, what's your favorite spell? Blink charge. Next question.
I haven't seen very many because I'm just focusing on what I can use right now. Of the ones that I've seen, Soundburst is pretty good. I also like. Let me see. I gotta go through my cards again.
While
What
you're
is
looking
the
at
one,
that,
What is the one on that?
what's the one? What?
the one he has listed?
Blazing Dive.
Blazing
Okay,
Dive
gotcha.
is his. I think Blazing Dive is anime Blink Charge. So like our
Oh,
brains are
I
kind
was
of
like,
on the
I don't
same
think
level.
I've ever heard of
So
it before.
that one's Secrets of Magic. I think a Blazing Dive. So Blink Charge is the Roisin had it in Age of Ashes. Uses the bunch. It is cast spell, 2 actions, teleport a distance. At the end of the teleport, you make an attack with your melee weapon, and you get a bunch of bonus force damage behind you from the teleport. So you just shoot yourself.
Oh, like crater
It's-
into things a little
What?
bit. Crater into things a little bit.
Crater into them, yeah. You just blink
Right.
up to them and use the teleport momentum. It's big Dragon Ball Z energy. Blazing Dive is that, but super anime. You literally, I think, start by flying up 10 or 20 feet in the air, and then you fly at a point. And you don't make an attack roll like you do with Blink Charge, because that gives you a weapon and it just gives you bonus damage. It's just like a mini fireball where you land. You just hit and it goes. It is same energy.
Gotcha.
Same
Very
energy
similar.
for
Very
sure.
similar.
I
energy.
play that spell in Secrets Between the Stars. That's just my entire character.
You did that to a helicopter.
I did that to a helicopter.
That's
I
fair.
flew into the air.
That's fair. Yeah, you were just Blazing Dive the character.
I know this isn't really a spell, but like the lay on hands where it's a focus spell kind of thing. It ends up being kind of a cute.
It is a spell.
Oh, it's a spell.
Yeah, focus spells are spells. That's
Okay,
the
sweet.
name.
Well, yeah. I didn't know if that's really what we were talking about though. But I like that. I mean, obviously, I haven't played many casters, but it ended up being I don't know, just kind of a cute little like something not too magical, more like the Holy Spirit, whatnot. I thought it was really cute.
Holy Spirit. The power of Christ compels true
Yeah, like a
By
little
Tim
bit,
C.
honestly. I thought it was
Tim C.
kind of
Pull it
cute
across,
flavor.
touch them 6 health.
Be like, I just want you to feel better, and that's the whole spell.
No rolls. It's a completely
Yeah,
fixed
it's
amount of
just-
healing. There's no
Yeah.
absolutely nothing is rolled. You're just like 6.
Like I really,
Received 6.
I just really want you to feel better, and that's the whole spell.
It's
My
great.
favorite
Oh, I gotta tell
spell-
Sully her lay on hands is 12 at this point because she's level 3 now.
Oh
I gotta tell
my
her focus can't
gosh.
Titan too.
You have so many things to tell everyone.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say my favorite spell was Power Attack. Next question.
Next question.
My favorite spell is Power Attack. Quote from a man who has not gotten the knockdown yet. Like, imagine
I
Power
tried-
Attack.
I tried knockdowning once. It didn't turn out very
You
well.
have knockdown, right?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I
yeah.
guess we are fighting almost exclusively actual ghosts. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of sucks.
Hard to
for-
trip a thing with
for
no
team
legs.
Knockdown
Yeah.
team.
I've tried.
Knockdown's so good because you don't even roll the thing. You just do it. And they just fall over. It's so good.
I guess like Corey's favorite spell is gun.
I like shooting. The one that you do that makes it big gun.
Yes.
Love that one. All about the big gun.
I also like we just get to absolute absurdity. There's been a spell since first edition called Meteor Swarm, which was just fireball at 4 times, and they're also physical meteors that do bludgeoning damage. But it sounds really cool and does 19 damage, so it kind of sucked and was useless. And then second edition said Cataclysm.
That was gonna be my favorite spell. That's the only one I know, is because it was in an episode of what was our series we started our entire company with?
Age of Ashes.
Age of Ashes. I wanted to say Age of Aeons, and I was like, I
Yes.
know that ain't
It
it.
showed up Cataclysm.
Strange ashes.
The,
Strange Ashes.
the wizard cast it in that one episode of Book 6. He's just like, I cast die. And it's like acid rain does 3d10 acid damage, and earthquake does 3d10 bludgeoning damage, freezing wind does 3d10 cold damage, lightning hits for 3d10 electricity damage, and there's 3d10 bludgeoning damage anything that's flying from the intensity of the wind, and then the tsunami runs over the area for 3d10 bludgeoning damage, and a wildfire breaks out and does 3d10 fire damage, and this is all one spell. So
It was that was the actual first time I'd seen Pathfinder be played, and I remember that spell going off, and I was like, he just did 500 damage on one turn, and then it was right before that somebody was like, I got a 40 to hit, and he went, that's a critical failure. And it's like, excuse me? What do you mean critical failure?
the average damage on Cataclysm is 115.5. So
Ridiculous.
it does the thing. If you're gonna cast a 10th level spell doing nothing but blow stuff up, I want 115 average damage, dude. I want that to be on the board. It's also got a quarter-mile range, so you're just like, that entire town over there, screw them.
My other favorite of the ones that I can do is blistering invective.
Oh,
Just
no.
the idea of you yell at somebody and they set on fire. That's so funny to me.
That's pretty
You
phenomenal.
just look at them and do this, and they burst into flames.
You just whip on him.
You roast them.
Oh, I get it.
That's good. There's a lot of really fun spells. There's a lot of super, super fun spells, but I do like
Sick
my
burn.
big nuclear bomb. Oh, hey, Nightmare, Raz's favorite spell ever. You have bed dreams and are sad.
What is that? My life. I've never been a big spellcaster guy. I've always just been more melee attacks focused.
I have the problem that once I get into combat, my adrenaline starts going, and it's like, what's 2 + 5? I'm like, I don't know.
You what?
I don't even know. And everybody's judging me right now.
There is
The whole internet's watching, and they're angry.
I don't. If I was still on the Paizo channel, I would definitely not legally be allowed to say that. But there is just straight up Kamehameha in Pathfinder now.
Yeah,
that
you
came
told me
with
about
Secrets
this,
of
yeah.
Magic. Yeah, it is called Ender Radiance Torrent. And it is you charge up and you shoot a beam. And the beam is like 30 feet long and it does some damage. But if you spend 3 actions casting it and charge up longer, it's a longer beam and it does some extra damage. But if you spend 3 hours charging it and then end your turn sitting there going, ah! And the next turn you spend 3 more actions continuing to charge it, it is a giga beam that does a crap ton of damage in like a huge area.
It's Spirit Bomb, I tell you, dude.
Can
just
you
makes-
go Super Saiyan in Pathfinder 2nd Edition?
You can in Starfinder if you're a Solarian.
This is very true.
That's
Just
true.
stellar
Manshot brings
mode.
up Horizon Thunder Spear, which is the same thing, but it's Spirit Bomb. You just throw the AoE.
You can just be Goku.
Yeah,
Like, wow.
The Secrets of Magic added the 2 to 6 action spells, where you spend 2 to 6 actions. You decide when you cast how much you want to charge it before you
That's
throw
a
it.
very fun. I like that. It's a fun mechanic.
It's funny to hold it for an entire turn, and then you go the whole rest of the round just sitting there screaming, charging his crap up to throw it next round.
I just imagine.
okay.
Have you ever seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
Briefly,
Oh.
I'm familiar with it.
I
yes.
love the bit where Piccolo in his head is just going mana mana do 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 do, and then charging my attack, and then he fires it.
That's you sitting there actually channeling it.
Yes.
There are.
Uh,
I love Tui's spells. Tui's spells go wild. They just go off the walls with it.
I'll play a spellcaster again at some point. Maybe.
Someday.
Who knows?
You get to pull out just all the most absolutely insane spells that you can find. There's also some that like the descriptions do not in any way fit the level of the spell or what they do. There's one that's like it literally flays someone. It like flenses off their skin and it's like they take 2d4 slashing damage. I'm like, I think they take a little bit more than 2d4 slashing damage.
How
Also,
much
this is a
trauma
first level spell.
Do you
Yeah. Oh
inflict
my
on
God.
them, though?
Apprentice wizards can do this. What?
It's a cantrip.
oh
That's
my
not
god!
the one I'm thinking of, but that does. Oh, that's the better one. That's the one where you punch their kidneys. That's where you magically just reach inside them and go. Eh.
It's like
That's
the
the Street
torsion
Fighter spell.
beam.
Is that how someone gets appendicitis?
It's a cantrip.
That's what happened to me.
You reach in and whip.
You take their heart and you just.
That's what spellcasters do.
Oh my gosh, my face.
Oh Lord,
Oh,
what are we doing?
Okay.
so funny.
Malevolence.
How's Leetsy changed?
Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Wait a minute, who was Litzy again? No, just kidding. I don't know. Litzy has gotten a bit soft. My goodness, getting soft around here. At the beginning, I really tried to lay the lines of like she's an absentee, not like an absentee, but in the emotional way for sure, pretty absentee.
Emotional
absent.
negligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as we've gone along, I mean, just dangerous situations lead to, oh my gosh.
They need a mother.
These people could die at any time.
You literally babied a demon.
Yes.
Well, that
skeleton.
was actually way easier because I'm just kind of a contrary person in general. And so if nobody else is going to do it, well, now I really want
Yeah, hey, who would have thought that?
Chaotic evil.
Who would have thought that Amadeus and Litzy would be the ones being like, "Don't hurt the baby"?
Protect this small
Talos
boy.
was like, "I'm gonna hurt
Someone
the baby."
stab the baby.
Kick the baby.
Poke him.
Oh man.
So I think she's generally softening up a little bit. Straightening out values, life values. Maybe wine cellars are a little bit step below,
And
just-
You have
Hairspray.
made a literal wine mom.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking to be.
I need to
And-
draw Litzy in a it's wine o'clock shirt.
Oh, it just says live, laugh,
Yeah.
love all over.
That's just beautiful. Oh, absolute poetry. My whole inspiration for Talos was like your weird uncle who just has like 300 newspaper articles from like 1943 up on his walls and like these obscure Bigfoot photographs, and it's like a whole like his entire apartment is just cluttered with crap that he definitely should have thrown out 30 years ago. That's my whole concept.
Yeah, Jumbles. We said it in the teaser, and I think the first episode, and I just kind of abandoned it. But it was he's supposed to have like a comic that he liked reading a lot. His Investigator Quinn or something
Quinn.
like
Were
that.
they comics?
Yeah.
I thought they were novels.
They're both. It kind of kept flipping
It's
in my
whatever
head.
he
It's a
remembers.
graphic
It's not real. We're just playing pretend. So
It's
whatever.
come up a little, but like,
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's been mentioned like twice.
Yeah, like
I
I intended
referenced
for that
it
to
at
be his
one point.
whole thing for him was like how much he loved those books, and that would be like the driving force in him wanting to do everything was to be like this character.
You're like investigating.
Yeah, but then it just became he just liked those books, so he's like, oh, I can just do that, and then he just ran into the house.
Yes.
I could just fit through this gate. So like, you know,
Your
That-
head getting
Open
stuck
the
in the gate. And then just,
Like,
That the whole game, as I had rewatched the first episode, like maybe a month ago, and I was I was dying at everyone's reaction to the gate. Like everyone had very different of like, yeah, absolutely, this is the perfect thing to do, or don't ever do that. Stop doing that. Why are you doing that?
like, have we tried any door handles
No.
ever? Like, I'm gonna need to teach you guys how to open a door.
Half the doors have been Jumbles bursting through them, or Amadeus tearing them down.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
we hate doors in the name of the
oh
family.
man.
I am totally
A large
fine
amount of
with
our
the
income
doors.
goes towards door repairs in the name of the
I
house.
do have a crowbar, but that's, I mean,
unrelated.
unrelated.
When the
You got to
GM
use it
closes
last
a
time.
door, you kick that open.
You power attack it open.
Yep.
I wasn't asking if it was locked. I said I hit the door.
I said I go into the next room.
Favorite enemy door.
I think we probably have for many of the going into the next room. I don't think we have checked most of the doors on whether they are locked.
No.
Normally, they are open, or we force our way through them.
Half of them have been like they
That's-
kind of opened themselves,
That's
and we're
gonna
like, I
be on
guess.
Litsy's wall.
On the opposite note, what's the most you hate spell or about the spell concept? Mine is a spell that gives you battle form. Despite that, I keep using them. I have endless copium. Oh yeah, they're kind of bad. So least favorite spell. Okay, single least favorite is an extremely easy and just objectively correct answer to this, and it's maze. Maze is stupid.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
put someone in a
Maze
maze.
That
is
was
stupid
very
spell. Maze is 2 actions. Target is gone. No save, no check, no attack roll, nothing. You pretty much can't be immune to it, and they are gone for at least a round. So it doesn't matter if it's the final boss of like a 20th level adventure or like this super powerful wizard or whatever. You're just like, and they're just gone, and there's just gone.
Yeah.
It is so bad. I don't know if I've talked about this really. I have like a ban list. It's pretty much just maze. It's not so much banned as like you don't cast it on real targets. Because like Resume had it in Age of Ashes, but we literally talked about it, and I was like, you only use this on mooks. And then, it'll be a funny thing. And then she did that because, like, there's nothing stopping you, rules-wise, from going into literally the final boss with Dahak, who is actually God, and just going maze. And then he's gone. And I think I think explicitly Dahak can't be removed from the plane he's in, so I guess you couldn't maze him. But that's a weird tenet of the situation. But most other level 20 final bosses, you just, like, maze. And they're gone.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. It seems counter fun.
Yeah, there's-
that takes away all stakes.
All tension is gone. All
Yeah.
tension and stakes are gone. They're gone. I mean, they can come back on their round if they make a check, but like they don't get a save to not get banished in the first place. I think there are some very OP, and I also think there are some very unfun spells. But Maze is definitely like I think the worst. The worst. I hate Maze. Maze sucks.
To me, this is a very basic one that gets used a lot. I hate Detect Magic. I think it is boring and does not give you a lot of stuff normally. Because
That
at
is-
least in 5th edition, we've done it a few times here, but in 5th edition specifically, the verbiage of it is just like, you know if it's magical. And it's like a yes or no. And it's
That's-
cast a whole spell slot to use. And I hate it.
That is
Yeah.
because it's been run correctly near 0 times in 2nd edition, just like ever. Detect Magic is a 30-foot emanation is their magic in this bubble. That is all that it gives you. It doesn't give you a direction. It doesn't pinpoint anything. It doesn't highlight anything at all.
I just don't. It
It
seems like a
also
waste.
doesn't penetrate anything that is physically or magically obscured. So anything that would normally take a perception check to find would need the same perception check to notice the ping on detect magic. So it doesn't unhide anything. It's not. I don't wholly disagree, because it is, in a lot of cases, just like, here's the thing.
Yeah, like
But
it feels like a waste to me.
It just gets run without all of its downsides a lot of the time. I find from the GM side, just for the sake of convenience, because it does make it way easier than spending 20 minutes going through every random pile of crap to see if there's anything magical in
Whenever
it.
somebody does it in a game I'm running, I'll normally, if they're like holding the item in detect magic, I will tell them what type of magic it is. Like I'll give them a little more than just like, yeah, that's a magic compass. I'll be like, yeah, it's like it's got like a necrotic energy coming off of it. Like you get a vibe that it is bad or
That's
good or something
read
like
Death
that.
aura.
compass.
See, we don't got that in
Yeah, there is a
5e.
second spell called Read Aura, which you cast on a thing, and you determine if it's magical in the School of Magic.
To me, that should just kind of be the base. Like that feels
But
to
how
me.
do you know what to read Aura on?
How do you know what to, do you like? What do you mean?
Because
like, you walk
detect
into
magic
a
is
room-
like an area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
walk
then
into
read
a
aura
room
is
that,
like
like,
specific.
realistically,
Yeah.
box text notwithstanding, like, there's a bunch of crap and it's cluttered. It's full of all kinds of, like, knickknacks and forgotten things. And, like, do you have them spend an hour read-auraing, like, every object in the room? I mean, I guess for none of them to even end up being
Bless you.
magical. Like, it's a hard line for sure. I definitely get disliking it. And I also, because I got to make everyone Strange Aeons characters, I did not give anyone detect magic. I only give them access to read aura. But I ran into that problem where they just don't notice magic items a lot of the time because
And
they're
also,
not going to stop and cast read aura on every single object they pass.
to me, it also seems more like a fun moment when you realize an item you have is magical. Like if it enters a room and then it just kind of does a weird thing, that's gonna be way more fun than you having sat in like 6 rooms behind it and just being like, "Is it magic? Yes. What does it do? This. Cool." Like there's more opportunity
I
for like a fun
think
reveal.
An amount of that is coming from D&D, where, to my understanding, magic items are rare, and there aren't 4 of them in every loot pile you'll get starting at level 1.
They're not as common as they are in Pathfinder, but they're definite. If you have a good DM, they are. You find them pretty often enough that it is like a moment. But even if it like applying to like the Starless Scope, like if that had magic on it, and it to me it would be more fun. This is not me saying I know anything about what's happening with it. It's like
Right.
if we walked into a room and then the Starless Scope like flew out of somebody's pocket and then started looking at like a constellation, that would be more fun than if like Cass had just gone over and been like, I detect magic on it, and then that's it. Like it just to me it seems counterintuitive at times.
It's kind of clunky.
Yeah.
It for sure is a bit clunky.
Yeah.
For all that they have kind of streamlined the exploration kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I do think that the detect magic and also some of the like recall knowledge things are
Right.
a little bit clunky. But I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, like I said, I don't disagree. I didn't give anyone detect magic in Strange Aeons, but I kind of wish I had, just because it does just make a lot of things simpler.
I also play a lot of low magic stuff. Like Secrets is
Like
is
there is
incredibly low
there is
magic.
just
Like,
so much magic in Pathfinder that like detect magic pinging doesn't freaking mean anything.
yeah.
Like there's a magical item in like every single room you walk into in a dungeon.
So yeah, I think that maybe detect magic. Like if I did it in Secrets, then it would mean more because there's no magic in that world
You
like
mean
at all.
when I try to make a mysticism check every 2 seconds, and I'm like, all right, this time.
This time there's gonna be a magic
This
here.
is
And I'm like, hey,
like-
buddy,
No.
you're next to a wormhole that sucks in magic. Oh, there ain't nothing happening.
Well, anyone else got a least favorite spell?
I hardly ever play casters.
One of my least favorites
Is
is
it Von Mo?
see, I like Bon Mo, but I can't roll well. But like the spells that only do something like, Frightened One or things like that, I don't really like those because I don't feel like they do a whole lot in combat. I like ones that deal damage more so than cause effects.
The
So.
a little bit of that problem is that I'm already doing frightened.
Yeah.
Cause so I mean that's just basically party composition for them. It is like if one person has it already on, it is kind of useless.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, that was one of the things AJ and I had to adjust was because I was going to be a different investigator type where
He was going to be empiricism, and I saved him.
yes.
You're welcome.
I
I
was
stopped him from making an empiricism investigator.
yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Sully's welcome.
But that was what we had done was it was going to be that I was going to be doing a lot of recall knowledge and weakness checks and stuff like that. But you already had done it. So there was no point. And then also, like you said, it would be every 30 seconds I'd roll the same roll, and then Sully would say either the same thing or something completely different.
Yeah.
So it would have been not that great.
Yeah, it does very little.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept, but it does very little.
Probably better for home games than if we're doing a show.
And I know for the purposes of Malevolence, Dispel Magic isn't very useful so far because so many of the effects are innate to things, and so it doesn't do that because it's not like a magical effect on it. Huh.
Have you tried casting it?
Yes, yeah.
Because I think it would work on most stuff in Malevolence.
I know that I cast it at least
You
once,
cast it
and it
on
didn't work.
I can't remember. What did you cast it on? I remember. I know you did
It
once.
was
I don't remember what
it
it
was
was
an item that had a magical.
on. And you
You
cast it on
tried
my
ca-
mirror, but like, did you cast on something
You
other
tried
than
casting
just
on the
the
mirror and you
That's
rolled like
why.
a
And definitely
one.
that was not working, but like
Okay.
but it has a lot more wide-reaching effects than you might think because a lot of the effects that enemies are doing to us are, even if they're not directly spells, are magical and can be dispelled off. So like
Okay.
Mental effect, right?
yeah, even well, it has to have a magical tag, but I would bet almost all of them do.
Okay.
The things that are giving like enfeebled and stunned and all that can probably be dispelled off. A lot of times haunts can be outright spelled by just going, haha, no.
Psych.
If only
just
I-
dispel anything because they're magical ghosts.
Yeah.
Like that works on a lot
If
of
only
haunts.
I'd known about that in the painting hallway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not all of them. I don't know which
Yeah.
ones. I haven't read Malevolence. We're not cheating. I might be completely wrong. You might not be able to spell literally any haunt in Malevolence, but there is a lot of stuff you can dispel. And the problem that happens with the spell a lot of the time is the problem that happens with healing potions in Skyrim, where you're like, I'm gonna need it more later, so I'm gonna hang on to this, and then you never use it.
I'll keep that in mind.
It is better to use it on something small than to not cast it at all.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Enemy buffs are less common, but usually really impactful if they get dispelled off.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Well, I'm gonna say on that note, we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been going for almost 2 hours now, so I think this is a pretty good. Thank you guys for joining us on our fun little excursion into chit chat.
Fun little excursion. Yeah, we did good.
So, if you guys want to see anything more of us, we have tons of videos on our YouTube of just VODs of us actually playing Malevolence. We have a couple of us just kind of sitting down chatting. We have Strange Aeons.
They have us talking about the Kinesis playtest.
We can watch it. It's
That came up.
almost a year ago where you can see Sully and I have literally zero Pathfinder knowledge. And we're like, let's talk specific Pathfinder rules. And we're like, yeah, man. Absolutely.
It was a good time, honestly.
No, it was very fun. Bryn's mic wasn't on for 20 minutes.
You know,
That's right.
the easy things.
Her mic was off for like half an hour. Oh.
Before we close out, would it be all right if I what's the word?
Promote.
Yes, promote my art and
Sure.
stuff. So if any of you guys want to commission some art from me, just like put that in the Discord and one of the channels, and I will, see if I can get in contact with you guys and stuff, because I am open for commissions, 100,000,000%.
Do you have a Twitter or Instagram or anything people can follow you at?
I just had to remake my Twitter because I couldn't remember the login and it was on my old phone.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
That's how it do.
Elon be like that sometimes.
Yeah. And so I have an Instagram. It's Riley Walters Art, all is one word, all lowercase. And I also have an email that's my professional email that just is RileyWaltersArt@gmail.com. So yeah, if you guys want to contact me, I can, talk to you about some commissions.
Do some
So-
UGT art.
Get some UGR.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool. Well, you can follow Riley there, and if you want to look at her art, we've got plenty of shows that we do here. Monday nights we normally do Malevolence. That will be back next week.
Malevolence.
That will be back next week at this same time. You'll see the Nubitus family go against a stricken woman or something was the name of the title. It was ominous, and there was a lady on the thumbnail.
Yeah, the lady was the
painter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
So, if you want, you can catch us live then. You can see any of our recordings at UGT VODs on YouTube. We have Strange Aeons every Saturday from 3 to 6. We have, it's coming, season 1's coming to an end.
Yeah, we probably got 3 episodes left is my current guess.
Wow.
It's less of a guess at this point and more of a we have 3 episodes left. So we are definitely approaching the finish line on that first chapter. And then Thursday this week, it's not technically a UGT thing, but I'm going to be running the second and final part of an adventure for Sirenscape, which is one of our sponsors that does all the background ambiance and everything. Twitch.tv/Sirenscape. I'm going to be running a game for Dan. A lot of people that came over from my channel might know him. He was the guy who got me in contact with Paizo in the first place, and now he's Sirenscape's PR guy. Jason Bowman, who's like the head rules writer.
Mr. Paizo.
Mr. Paizo. John Paizo.
Jonathan Pathfinder.
And
If you have any complaints, go to him.
the absolute audacity to complain that his 4th level character didn't get a striking rune when he is the one that made the wealth by level table that said his 4th level character doesn't get
He
a
had a
striking rune.
complaint. You should go to himself.
My brother in Christ, you made the book. Well, we run the last part of that 7 p.m. Eastern
John
this
Pathfinder.
Thursday. So
Not to
that'd
be
be pretty
confused
cool.
with Ricky Starfinder.
Sweet. Well, I don't think we have anything else we want to plug. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram,
Discord.
Facebook, Discord. We have a Discord link.
Like we would play so much
Discord.
crap.
Yeah,
dude.
we have
forever.
We've got a Threads. If you want to follow us there.
Gendor's Foundry dies.
Gendor's Foundry dies.
You can check out Arkenforge is cool.
Use code UGT show at the end to get 10% off your order.
The threads is very funny.
The
so-
Threads is fun. I'm just gonna go hog wild on there.
Chaotic.
So with that,
He's
hey,
embraced chaos.
thank you guys so much for watching. Gary, hit us with our official outro.
Well, all, it's been a long night. Have a good one.
Beautiful. So good.